Hey everyone, welcome to Plexus Lab tutorials. Today we're going to talk about sections. So inside Plexus Lab, once we log in, on the left side we have the list of all the components of Plexus Lab, and we've seen the previous video how to set up devices. Now if we click on sections, we're going to have again like an empty page because we haven't created any one yet, but pretty much sections are a list of variables and timers that we can use in our functions to control our automated system. So in devices, we have a list of actual real, for example, lights and buttons, like something really connected to a pod or an I/O input-output device. But if we need to create some virtual variable that are not connected to anything actually real, we can create inside sections. So for example, we can create a section called lights control. And here we can create variables and timers that we're going to utilize to write functions and logics to, for example, control the lights in a warehouse. Or we can add a second section and call it water control. And let's say we have a bunch of valves and stuff like that. So we suggest giving names to the sections that are related to a specific part of your system. Now this is going to be a very quick video because it's extremely simple. So we can create a section like that just by adding section and giving a name. Remember, every name needs to be unique. We can delete a section by selecting it, going into the info button on the top right, and simply delete it and confirm it. So all the sections are gone, including all the variables inside. Now, if we want to change name, same things. We just go to info and just change name, update. All right, that name is changed. So now, very simply, to add variables, we just click on this plus button right here, and let's call it all lights on. Remember that you can only assign names that have underscores and spaces are not allowed. So save it, and here we can just call like a general variable, call it v1, and so on. We cannot add a variable with the same name, so remember everything needs to be unique. So once we add the variables here, we see the value, which we can already modify. So if we press, let's say 40, enter, the value will be modified, right? So even if we go back to devices and section, this is the actual value of this variable right now. And we can limit how low or how high this variable can be. It's just totally up to us. This is, again, it's not connected to anything physical, so it's just a theoretical variable. So let's say we want it to be minimum 5 and maximum 10 for some specific purpose. Update it. So as you can see, the value already changed to 10 because that's the maximum value it can be. So if we try to write 6, it goes through, no problem. If we write 1, for example, it will just give 5. So it will stay within the range of what is possible. One other thing, we can change the decimal points. So let's say we assign 1 of that. So if we try to write 23.6, that will be written in there. If we try to write 26.65, it will send us directly to 26.7 because it's the closest decimal point to the value that we entered. All right, then to delete a variable, just press on info, delete, yes, and it's gone. So here you can create up to 50 variables per each section. They're very, very useful. You're gonna find out more as soon as we start writing functions. This is absolutely crucial, but very, very simple to set up. Same thing with timers. So in an industrial automation system or in any automated controlled system, we definitely want to have timers. So we have timed situations where we need to turn on a valve or something for a specific time of seconds and so on. So here's where we set up our timers. So for light controls, for example, we want to set up light on timer, for example. So we just give it a name. Here is the current value of that timer. So now it's not running. The total duration of this timer, so it will have a maximum duration that is fixed by whatever value you insert in here, and it's always in second. And here we have some buttons to activate, reset, or change settings of this timer. So for example, now we have a timer that lasts 10 seconds maximum. So if we start it, we'll see our time going up. Whenever we reach 10 seconds, this timer will stop, go back to value 0. And now this start button became black. We cannot start it again until we reset it. So once we reset it, the button will come green and we can start it again. Now we can start the timer and then pause it at a certain point and then play it again. Now all these controls of timer then can be done inside the functions when we're actually going to start writing our logic. Now on the info, very simple, there's only the name, so we can change the name and update it, or just delete this timer. That's it. So this is all about sections. As always, please leave comments below if you have any questions, or send an email to automation@bioforcetech.com. Thank you.